Hello everybody, Juliette Bay, physical therapist assistant and personal trainer with Rehab Associates here in Newark, Ohio. Also having clinics in Dresden and Zanesville location as well. I am here today to talk to you about addressing low back pain, excuse me, and different activities and exercises that you can do to combat that, which is very important because statistics show that 80% of people will suffer from low back pain at some point during their adulthood. So it is important to get the muscles strong, get various muscles flexible, get better mobility of the joints, proper posture, which we have done a video on that. All of those various activities will help combat low back pain, which is certain to come and knock on our door at some point during our adulthood. So want to show you that today. The first exercise that we're going to do, and I also want to address, it's very important to remember that none of these activities should provoke pain. Okay, so if you're having an issue with any of that, you definitely want to not engage in activities that are painful. Also, I want to let you know that for all the videos that we do, and especially with low back pain, that is something that I treat daily with my patients. I would say if I'm seeing a handful of patients a day, at least 30%, if not more of them, are suffering from some sort of low back component or ailment. So do know that physical therapy is there. You do not have to suffer it alone. Many times we rectify the issues with just some physical therapy, which is a very non-invasive and conservative approach to your pain, which we always try to do. Surgeries for low back sometimes, or any part of your spine, sometimes are necessary, but it's never our first go-to. So always keep in mind that physical therapy is there to help with that, with whatever ailment you have, whether it be posture, weakness, pain, joint replacements, and definitely what we're addressing now, low back pain. So feel free to give Rehab Associates a call if that's something you're suffering with. So the first exercise or stretch that we're going to do, this is a good stretch for kind of the low back and mid back. It is a modified child's pose. I call it modified because in the practices of yoga, this is something that you would do down on the floor, which you certainly can, and I will show you that. But right now we're going to do it right here with our chair. So hands on the chair, kitchen counter, wherever is appropriate for you. You're going to spread those feet hip width apart, kind of bending at the hips and the knees. And we're just tucking our head down in and rounding out that back. Okay? So if I was down on my belly, I would put my bottom in my heels and reach forward. So that's essentially, and I'm sorry, I'm trying to look at you at the same time. So that is what we're doing, just tucking down. Feel a stretch through that low and mid back, maybe even in your glutes. Hold it for maybe like 15 seconds, and then come up out of that to give yourself a break. Okay? And I would repeat that again, holding it 15 seconds. Do it 4 or 5 times. So again, we come back, we tuck down, reach. You might feel this in your lats or through your back. And mid back here, low back, through the glutes. Reach it forward. Nice deep breaths as you do with any stretching. 15-second hold. That feels really good, nice and elongated. And then come back up. And again, maybe 4 or 5 times of that. Okay, so that's a good exercise that you could do to stretch out mid-back, low back, glute region. The next activities that we're going to do, I'm going to bring you right down here to the floor. So if you're at home, you can do that with me. You can watch and resume later, whatever you choose with that. So most of us, as we get older, we decline in flexibility. Okay, so it's very important to stay mobile, doing our stretches as necessary, because also the more tight muscles are around a joint, the more susceptible that joint is to injury. So we obviously want to alleviate ourselves from injury. So lying down on your back, obviously it's not optimal to be laying on the floor. If you have the ability to lay in your bed or somewhere like that, that would be best. But if you need to get to the floor as long as you can get back up, okay? So I like to use a strap like this. You could use a belt, a dog leash, a sheet. All are appropriate as serving as a role for a strap here. But I like to basically make a loop here, put it on my foot, okay? I lie down. When you're lying down, I always like to keep one or both knees bent, okay? That just helps keep you in this little posterior pelvic tilt and support on the bed or the floor, wherever. That's important. You can see where I lose that support when both of my legs are flat, okay? Or straight. But look, when I bend my knee here, my low back got some support there. So you're grabbing the strap. You have to use a little bit of arm strength here. And what I'm doing is I'm pulling my leg up, okay? Now, everybody is going to differ in their level of flexibility. The goal is not to bring it over your head, okay? If you're flexible enough to bring it up, that's great. But this should never, ever cause pain. You only want to bring it as high as you can with two factors: no pain, and number two, this knee needs to be straight. So if I look like this, I'm not doing that stretch correctly. I need to come off of it and straighten my knee out, okay? This should simply just feel tight. Then I let it down after about 20 seconds or 4 slow deep breaths. Then I pull it up again with my arm. Okay, so you're not actively raising your leg up. It's just along for the ride. Your arms are doing the work. Some people, if they have arm weakness in their shoulder, biceps, triceps, those muscles, chest muscles, they're not able to do a lot with their upper body to help with these stretches. So if not, you need to find a different way or work up to that, okay? But 3 times on each leg, I just raise it up. Some of you may only have this level of flexibility and may only be able to come up partially. That's okay. As those muscles get stretched out, okay, more flexible, you're going to get more mobility in that joint and be able to come up higher, okay? And then obviously after 3 times, I would do the other leg, okay? Let's go into our next stretch. This stretch, you're going to feel in the muscles in the outer hip. You're going to feel it in the buttock region and the rotators of the hip. We call this the figure 4 stretch. You're going to take your foot over your knee. And remember, many of you may not be mobile enough to do these. If you're not able to get into that position, that's okay. Okay? Just do the other activities and try to work your way up from that. But I do want to say, if you're not able to get into these positions, anything's painful or you're just so tight you can't get in that position, you are probably a perfect candidate to come to physical therapy, okay? These are movements that you should be able to do. So I hold about 15 to 20 seconds. Yes, I feel that over here in this hip of the leg that is crossed. And now I'm going to switch and go to the other leg. Remember with the previous stretch, I did not show you on the right leg just because I'm trying to save time. But you always do both sides, unless for some reason there's an ailment that makes you unable to do so. But again, you need to figure out why that is. So 15 to 20 seconds, then I switch again. Nice deep breaths while I'm there. Okay, and we're going to do 2 times with each leg. Okay? The next exercise I'm doing is strengthening the muscles of the hips. Okay? All you need is a tiny ball like this. If you do not have a ball like this, grab a pillow, double it up, or a small cushion that's on your couch, and you put it between your knees. Many things could be used between your knees here. It's just as long as it's pliable and you're able to squish it. Okay? It does not have to be a ball. But I'm laying here on my back. Excuse me. My core is engaged and nice and tight. And I'm going to squeeze that ball evenly with both legs for about 5 seconds. Then I release. Squeeze and release. So this is working the hip adductors, the insides of your thighs. Okay? All of these muscles help stabilize the hips, the knees, the back. So it's important we have good muscle balance and good strength. So again, squeeze. You're not seeing much, but I'm squeezing with my legs, holding for 5 seconds, and you want to do 10 of those, okay? This, by the way, is not good posture. but it is important for me to be talking to you and interacting with you. So when you're doing this, you would be down, nice support of your neck on the bed, but that's difficult for me right now as I'm showing you all of this. So again, 10 times of that. Okay? The next one I'm going to do strengthens the outer hip muscles right out here. Okay? So I'm just tying a band, a belt, something like that across me here. Okay, if you have something like that. If not, place your hands on your thighs and push against your hands. But what I'm doing is pushing out against that belt. I'm pushing outward. 5-second hold, and then I relax. Then push out evenly with both legs. 5-second hold, relax. Push out. 5-second hold, and relax. Excuse me. Doing about 10 of those. Okay, 5-second hold and relax. Okay, and again, 10 times of that. Now, the next exercise I want to show you is a bridge. Okay, so what we're doing here, strengthening the glutes as well as the core. I want you to engage your core, so drawing your belly button. Let's actually start with that exercise. Drawing the belly button in through the spine, okay? If you do this, you've got a lot of muscles here working that don't need to be. It's down very low, okay? So just drawing the belly button in as if I'm trying to push my back down into the bed. Hold for 5 seconds and relax. Excuse me, talking while I'm laying on my back is aggravating my throat. Pushing down in for 5 seconds and relax. Okay, so that's just strengthening my abdominal region. Okay, those are exercises. That's an exercise you want to do all the time when doing your exercises to help stabilize your trunk and good support of the spinal structures. So that was just called abdominal strengthening or core engagement. The next exercise I'm going to do is a bridge. So I just press up through my heels, squeeze my bottom, and come back down. Press up through my heels and my arms, squeeze my bottom, come back down. So this is a good way to strengthen those buttock posterior muscles and down. And down. Again, let's start with 10 with most exercises. Okay, if this hurts your low back, okay, try to limit your range of motion. Don't come as high. And also try to engage the core. That will help support your spine when doing this activity. Engage the bottom and back down. Again, about 10 of those. Okay? So, when we have an ailment, and our discussion here is low back pain, okay, we don't just do things for the back. You might be wondering, well, why are we doing strengthening and stretching for the hips and so forth? All of your muscles are interrelated, okay? If muscles are tight around the hip or the knee, and that's affecting the way that you're walking, then it should make sense that when your walking is affected, it affects other joints and other areas of your body, hence your spine, and can cause impaired mobility, tight muscles, improper posture, improper gait, and pain in the back, okay? So that's why we kind of target the body as a whole, if you will, okay? Another one that I want to do here is a posterior pelvic tilt. So what I'm doing here, I start in neutral position of my back, and then I'm rolling back. So I'm bringing my hip bones up towards my chest as if I'm making a C shape of my pelvis. Okay? So curl it back, getting that low back supported, my pelvis is rocking back, and then back to start position. Bringing it back and back to starting position. Okay, keeping my core tight and engaged during that, maybe 10 of those, okay? Arms down at the sides, keeping my spine in neutral, abdominals pulled in, and then I'm just adding some movement with it. Okay, I've showed you this in a couple different positions, on the chair and so forth. So my abdominal muscles, I'm engaging them the whole time. They're having to work really hard to maintain support of my spine and my low back while I'm doing this. So those muscles are really engaging here, making them stronger and therefore better supporting my body. Everything should be done slow and controlled. Okay, so maybe 10 each leg with that. Okay, maybe now that you've done some exercises, your low back is a little stiff. Or maybe you were out and about at the grocery store today, a lot of walking, which maybe you're not used to. You get home and you notice your back is a little stiff. I like to lie down on my back. My knees are together. We call this the lower trunk roll. And what you're going to do is just drop your legs to the side. Maybe you feel a stretch there. If you do, you should stop. Hold for about 5 seconds, then bring it to the other side. Okay, so I'm just rolling my lower back and forth. If you have a little bit more flexibility and no pain, feel free to drop those legs down. Okay, then to the other side. Drop them down. Okay, again, you're going to choose how far you go down based on how you feel. It should not cause any pain. Very good. So the last thing that I want to address is how we get in and out of bed. Okay? This is called a lumbar roll. Very important if you have back pain that you're not sitting up out of bed like this. Okay? You can see where that would be agitative to the back and could cause further issues. Okay? So what I'm going to show you is a safe way to get in and out of bed so that we don't cause further issues with our low back. Okay? So what you're going to do, roll into a fetal position. Okay? Push up with your arms and your elbows, swing your legs. Imagine I'm in a bed. Swing your legs down over the bed and get into a seated position. Okay? So you're not on the floor at this point. If you are on the floor, you would do the same thing there, but I'm just imagining you're in your bed. So let's say it's time to go to bed now. You sit down at the edge of your bed, get into a fetal position, come down to the side of your bed, okay? Maybe you're a back sleeper, maybe you sleep on your left side, but now it's time to get up again. You get into what we call hook lie, knees are up, in a fetal position on the edge of the bed, and then swing your legs down, okay? That's very good as far as not provoking pain to your low back, not causing further agitation or inflammation, and allowing you to get in and out of bed safely and pain-free, okay? So again, if you're a person who suffers from low back pain, which is about 80% of the population at some point, do these exercises, see if you can rectify some of those issues on your own, perhaps. But if it's something you've been struggling with for quite a while, we strongly suggest you get to physical therapy so that we can do proper strengthening, flexibility, and pain management. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I look forward to seeing you all soon.